This is about understanding why certain moments still matter for Kansas City, especially inside the most compressed, demanding areas of the field. This is about red zone football, situational execution, and how veteran presence can quietly shape outcomes long before a final score tells the story. I'm Daniel, and today I want to slow this down and walk you through what stood out to me when you look at the Chiefs' current situation through a red zone and situational lens, particularly as it relates to Travis Kelce, the offensive structure around him, and what his potential return actually means on the field, not emotionally, not narratively, but tactically. When you watch Chiefs film, especially over the last several seasons, you notice that their identity inside the 20-yard line has never been about overpowering defenses with size alone. It's been about timing, leverage, and decision speed. The red zone, for anyone newer to the game, refers to the area inside the opponent's 20-yard line, where the field is shortened, defensive spacing tightens, and windows close faster. This is where quarterbacks have less margin for error, and where offensive design matters more than raw athleticism. That's where Travis Kelce has historically been one of the most valuable pieces in football. Not just because he catches touchdowns, but because of how he forces defensive decisions before the snap even happens. When Kelce aligns tight to the formation, defenses have to decide whether to treat him like a receiver or a lineman. When he motions across the formation, linebackers have to communicate quickly. Safeties hesitate. That hesitation, even if it lasts half a second, is often the difference between a contested throw and an easy completion. When you slow down Chiefs' red zone tape from earlier Mahomes seasons, you see a clear pattern. A lot of successful goal-to-go plays start with eye discipline from the quarterback and leverage manipulation by Kelce. He doesn't always win by speed. He wins by understanding where defenders are supposed to be and getting there first. That's a mental edge, not a physical one. Coming off the most recent season, the raw numbers tell us something important, but they don't tell us everything. Kelce's production, 76 catches, 851 yards, 5 touchdowns, might look modest compared to his peak years. But when you isolate third downs and red zone targets, his impact remains disproportionate. Third down, especially third and medium inside the 20, is where playbooks shrink. You don't have space to improvise endlessly. You need someone who understands spacing and timing at an elite level. This is where Patrick Mahomes' game intersects with Kelce's in a way that's difficult to replace. Mahomes' greatest strength isn't arm talent alone, it's anticipation. He throws to spots, not to people. Inside the red zone, that anticipation has to be paired with trust. You're often releasing the ball before a receiver has fully separated. Kelce has been the receiver Mahomes trusts to be exactly where the play design expects him to be, even when the defense disguises coverage. From a situational football perspective, this matters because red zone efficiency is not about highlight plays. It's about converting drives into touchdowns instead of field goals. Over the years, the Chiefs' red zone touchdown percentage has generally been above league average, particularly during their Super Bowl runs. Even when the offense struggled between the 20s, they often found answers near the goal line through condensed formations, play-action concepts, and option routes built around Kelce. Play-action, for casual fans, is when the offense fakes a run to influence linebackers before throwing the ball. Inside the red zone, that fake doesn't need to be dramatic. It just needs to freeze defenders for a step. When you combine that with Kelce's ability to sell blocks before releasing into routes, you create high-percentage throws that are extremely difficult to defend. Andy Reid's role in all of this can't be overstated, but it's important to frame it correctly. Reid's genius isn't just creativity, it's sequencing. He doesn't call plays in isolation. He sets them up. A tight end delay route in the fourth quarter only works because the defense has already seen similar looks earlier in the game. Kelce, as a veteran who understands that sequencing, runs routes with an awareness of what came before and what might come next. The recent comments about excitement surrounding the offensive coordinator situation are interesting not because of what they imply emotionally, but because of what they suggest structurally. A player doesn't talk about growing moments under a coach unless that coach has influenced how he sees the game. Growth, in this context, usually means understanding situational nuance, when to settle in zones, when to break routes off early, when to become an outlet instead of a primary target. Looking ahead, the Chiefs are clearly in a transitional moment. A 6-11 season forces reflection. But situationally, this team still has core elements that matter where football games are actually decided. Inside the 20. On third down. In late-game clock management scenarios. That's where veteran players retain value even as physical tools begin to fade. Isaiah Pacheco's downhill running style, for example, becomes more effective when defenses are worried about Kelce releasing late into the flat or sitting down in a soft spot. That's how red zone football works. Pieces amplify each other. You don't evaluate them in isolation. There's also a historical element here that's worth mentioning briefly. During the Chiefs' earlier playoff runs, especially their Super Bowl victories, Kelce wasn't just a receiver, he was often the solution when plays broke down. As defenses adjusted and took away first reads, Mahomes trusted Kelce to uncover late. That improvisational chemistry doesn't show up in playbooks, but it shows up on film. From a league-wide perspective, tight ends rarely age gracefully unless their game is built on intelligence and leverage. Kelce's game has always leaned that way. That's why even incremental declines in speed don't automatically remove his situational value. Particularly in the red zone, where quickness of thought often matters more than quickness of foot. So when you frame the possibility of another season, the question isn't whether Kelce can still put up massive numbers. The question is whether he can still tilt the field in the moments that matter most. On 3rd and goal from the 6. On 3rd and 5 late in the fourth quarter. In those moments, experience, chemistry, and spatial awareness become decisive. From a red zone kingdom perspective, that's the real takeaway. This isn't about headlines or legacy narratives. It's about how small decisions, subtle movements, and veteran understanding can still shape outcomes in the most compressed parts of the field. If Kelce is back, his presence won't just be felt in box scores. It will be felt in how defenses align, how plays are sequenced, and how efficiently the Chiefs finish drives. When you slow it all down, that's what stands out to me. Situational football doesn't care about hype. It cares about execution. And in that area, the Chiefs' story is still being written.